Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the inaugural U Online Open House. If you're just joining us, my name is Tori Brignolo, and I'm a Senior Enrollment Advisor with the University of Miami's U Online graduate programs. We're going to continue on our sessions here today and move into the next one, which is going to be designed really for those prospective students who are considering enrolling in an online graduate program, but they're wondering how they're going to go about paying for it. So definitely a valid question, probably one of the most important questions when it comes to applying to graduate school, and we are here to help you out to answer some of these questions for you. I've also got Titi Ipega. She was on a prior session, so she's back joining us to talk a little bit more about how we can help you make your degree affordable. So without further ado, take it away, Titi, and let's get started on some of these special points for the financial aspects of graduate education.
Hi, Tori. Thank you so much, and good afternoon once again. One of the most important questions we get day in and day out: how much is my degree going to cost? How am I supposed to afford this? It's a great question, and it's definitely an investment in yourself, in your education, and in your future. So this afternoon, we're going to talk a little bit more about U Online and some of the scholarships we offer to help make your degree a little bit more affordable. Currently, the cost per credit hour is 2030 per credit hour, and that is for this academic year. We'd like you to take into consideration that the cost for higher education increases yearly. So if you're thinking about going back to school, to definitely look into it and maybe start as soon as possible. Here at U Online, we have different types of scholarships. The first scholarship we're going to talk about is the inaugural scholarship. So both the Master of Public Administration and the Health Informatics students offer a 45% scholarship as an inaugural scholarship within that program. And this is for all eligible students that qualify for that.
So a good thing to know too with the inaugural scholarship is it is going to be offered essentially for all newly accepted students into the program. So it's not even something that you're going to have to apply for. Now, obviously, you'll have to apply for admission into the program, but if you're accepted and you accept your offer of admission, that scholarship will be automatically applied to your account. So as you can see, there are some great amounts which help reduce the cost per credit hour by that specific amount. For example, as mentioned, the 45%. It does vary by program, so be sure to get in contact with the enrollment advisor to talk a little bit more about which program you're interested in and the amount of the scholarship for inaugural that would be available.
So yeah, we do have different types. The scholarships will be reviewed internally. We can give you an estimate of what your scholarship is going to be before you apply, but we'll definitely confirm it after you've been accepted. And you also receive a letter stating what your tuition scholarship is going to be. Our merit-based scholarships. The merit-based scholarships are based on your cumulative GPA upon graduation and your years of post-bachelor's work experience. It's a combination of both your cumulative GPA, years of work experience, and also your GRE or GMAT score. So this is something that your admissions advisor will review and let you know if you qualify for a merit-based scholarship.
So again, just to reiterate, you don't have to apply for these scholarships. They will be reviewed internally by your enrollment advisors, and we will inform you of what you would be eligible for roughly about that same time that you'd be ready to submit your application. So you'll actually know going into the program where you stand, what you're eligible for, and an estimated rate of tuition based off of the scholarship that can be provided for you. So, all those questions that come up about how I'm going to pay for school and I don't even know what I'm going to pay, the good thing is it will at least be able to give you a solid idea of what you're eligible for to help reduce the cost of tuition by our scholarships here. Merit-based, again, just to reiterate what TT said, reviewed internally. So, that's something that we will definitely review as we review your application documents and confirm if you'd be eligible for that scholarship.
Military scholarships. All active duty and veterans qualify for this, and you can use your military scholarship. Basically, what we need for that is either a copy of your DD-214 or your LES to verify that you were in the military. You can just send that over to us during the application process. Your enrollment advisor would attach it to your application and will apply the applicable military scholarship. We do have a military division. We have a team who works with both our online and our on-campus students who'll be working very closely with our military students, seeing what they qualify for based on what they need. And our military team will definitely answer all your questions in regards to your military funding.
And of course, we want to thank you all for your service. For those that are active duty
Of
or
course, thank you for your
veterans,
service.
definitely greatly appreciated. And we try to reflect that within our process and programs here to help, to help reduce the cost of tuition as much as possible where we can. We also do participate in the Yellow Ribbon program, so that's definitely great to note for those veterans or active duty that are listening. You can certainly take advantage of that here through the University of Miami as well.
Alumni scholarships. For students who successfully completed their undergraduate or graduate degree at the University of Miami, we verify that with your transcripts, and you do receive an additional scholarship if you are an alumni. So, go Canes.
Absolutely. So if you're coming from an undergraduate program, maybe a graduate program, whatever the case may be, of course, we want to encourage our students to stay with us through graduate programs.
Yeah.
So
we want you back.
Exactly. So just a little additional scholarship that we can help offer for alumni coming in. And, these are all things, again, that through your enrollment and through your admissions process and as you're filling out the online application, we're in touch with you every step of the way. So you'll know if you qualify for these things, pretty early in the admissions process.
Employee Scholarship for all our wonderful faculty and staff. We appreciate you, appreciate all the hard work. If you are a employee, there is an additional scholarship, and we can let you know if you would qualify for that. It's pretty easy for us to verify, but thank you for being part of the family here. There is an additional Employee Scholarship.
Absolutely. So, it's something that, again, just helping to reduce the cost of tuition where possible. One thing to note, which is super important, I know a lot of our employees often are seeking remission on the program. So please be advised that, unfortunately, at this time, the Online programs do not offer remission. However, as mentioned, you are eligible for the max scholarship amount. It will vary by program, but it is definitely an offering, that we'll be able to provide for you as a employee. All right, and then one thing to keep in mind before we move in and venture into the financial aid aspect, with the scholarships, an important thing to note is that scholarships can only be offered as one scholarship. So essentially, you would either qualify for either or. For example, if you're a newly accepted student and you don't necessarily qualify for the merit, no matter what, you're always going to get that inaugural scholarship so long as it is being offered and available for the program. But if you come in and let's say that you are eligible for the merit base, then you would receive the merit base, not a combination of both the merit and the inaugural. So that's just good to note. The amounts do vary, but unfortunately the scholarships cannot be stacked at this time. It would just be a matter of what you're eligible for, which again would be reviewed internally by your enrollment advisor. And we'll definitely let you know where you stand once you start the application process. So I want to venture into a little bit into the financial aid aspect. It's super important. It is available for our online programs here. So that is something that students can definitely take advantage of. With the exception of one of our programs, a certificate in health informatics, that would not be available for financial aid. But other than that, all of the other graduate certificate programs and master programs that we do offer do have the eligibility for financial aid. So we'll let TT speak on this a little bit for you here, and she can help clarify some of those aspects.
Absolutely. Financial aid is available for eligible students who qualify. If you have any questions in regards to your qualifications for financial aid, please give one of us a call. We'd be happy to assist you. So U.S. residents, you can complete the free application for financial aid online, and you can learn a little bit more about your specific loan eligibility.
Absolutely, and it's important to stay, in the know with how financial aid works, and we're here to help answer those questions. But I would also encourage all of you to do research on your end, so you're well aware of, sort of how repayment works, how loans work, how things of that nature. For graduate students, please bear in mind as well that Pell Grants are not offered through the federal government. So it would only be the aspect of student loans available for financial aid for graduate studies. But again, certainly something that you could take advantage of. And if you do have further questions about that, there's a whole slew of references online, as well as your academic advising and your enrollment advising team here with you online can certainly provide some clarification. Now, if you're already kind of familiar with financial aid, or you're still kind of tossing the idea about, whether you want to apply for school or what you're eligible for, we definitely encourage students to at least consider financial aid. You can fill out your free application for federal student aid online. As you can see here, the FAFSA code is available. And basically, it will give you about an estimated eligibility, usually, within 24 hours of submitting the application, if not sooner. So definitely would encourage you. It doesn't mean you have to use it, but at least you'll know where you stand if you do need some financial help.
Okay. Application deadline for the 2019 start date is December 17th. So if you're interested in using financial aid, today would be a great day to begin the application and see what you could potentially be eligible for in regards to financial aid for funding your education.
And more importantly, the application is free to fill out online. So it doesn't hurt, to kind of see, again, where you'd stand. If you're in the situation where you want some sort of financial help, we definitely understand that the financial commitment for higher education, can be high at times. And sometimes you just need some additional references or resources. And, financial aid is just one of those things that we can help apply with our students here for, to help supplement the cost of their education.
Payment plans. We do have other payment plan options. It is divided into 3 semesters, so the spring, the fall, and the summer. In regards to your payment plans, the total cost for that semester will be divided into 4 for the fall, 4 for the spring, and 3 for the summer. So in the fall, you'll be making 4 payments, and the spring will be 4, and in the summer it will be 3. So you do have an option to pay a cash option payment, and there you can divide it into 4 payments over the course of the semester.
And that's a great point, TT. And the good thing is, for those students who are paying out of pocket perhaps, or, maybe not wanting to use all financial aid and want to kind of, maybe do a half and half situation or whatever is in the student's best interest. You do have a variety of options here, the payment plan, and it's not for the entire program up front. So keep that in mind. It's just going to be a semester by semester basis. Essentially, you're going to pay for the 2 courses that you're enrolled into each semester. So, you don't have to set a payment plan up where it's broken down into 4 installments of the entire program. It would be 3 or 4 installments of that semester in particular, based off of the courses that you're registered for. And you can set up a monthly payment plan. You could speak with your enrollment team, your academic advising team, and ultimately with student accounts, we help you get that payment plan set up.
And there's always the option of making a full payment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
For the entire semester, if that option is available to you.
Exactly. So you can definitely pay for the semester in full. And if you're in a situation where you just want to pay for the entire program in full as well, we can work with you to make sure that your payment options are, in your best interest. All right, so just want to make sure, again, you guys are aware of the deadlines here, especially for financial aid for those individuals considering applying for the upcoming spring semester. So the deadline is actually here on the 10th. Definitely want to have your financial aid application submit as soon as possible, though. One rule of thumb is don't wait until the deadline, because things with processing, often does take a few days to do so. So you just don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're waiting for something to be processed when the application, would maybe take you 15, 20, 30 minutes max to fill out. So definitely get on top of that if you're one of those individuals that is considering financial aid. And, make sure you have all of your documents in line well ahead of the application deadline. So, all of your ducks in a row, if you will, especially if this is the route that you want to go for payment. So with that, I think that's kind of just a general scope. Titi, did you have anything else to add about funding or financial?
Not at all, but if you do have any additional questions, we're going to take some questions right now, but please, if any questions pop up, please give us a call, and we'll be able to talk to you in regards to your specific case a little bit more clearly.
Definitely, and you can chat live as well if you'd like to ask some questions. We'd be more than happy to answer. We do have a few questions here that we can filter out for you and, hopefully get to the bottom of some of the things that you guys are thinking. So first question we have here is, how does the process of granting scholarships work? So great question. I think we touched on it briefly, but I can start here by saying that it's all, again, reviewed internally. So if you are eligible for a scholarship, it is actually going to be automatically applied to your student account each and every semester, so long as you don't withdraw from the program. So as long as you stay through as a full-time graduate student, you'll notice it'll be reflected in your student account every semester that you're receiving that reduction from the scholarship. It's all done automatically through our system here, so you're never going to have to reapply for this or do any additional paperwork. As long as you're accepted into the program, you'll notice that scholarship will be added to your student account as soon as you're payment is available or as soon as your courses are available. So everything is reflected automatically for you, nice and streamlined there.
And in that regard, to add a little bit more to what Tori said, you will have the scholarship for the entire duration of the program. It will keep on being applied to your tuition bill each academic year. And again, we do that all internally.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's jump into another question here. Let's see if we can filter this one out. If I qualify for multiple scholarships, how do you decide which one I receive? So as I mentioned prior, students are only eligible for one scholarship. However, the good thing is we're going to supply you whatever the max amount is that you're eligible for. So as the previous example, I mentioned an inaugural and a merit-based. So if you're a merit-based student, you're going to get that merit-based scholarship. So, we're always going to provide you with whatever the maximum amount is that you're eligible for. And again, that maximum amount will be available for you and applied to your account each and every semester here. So we do this all internally. Unfortunately, no stacking of scholarships, but we do ensure that you're eligible to get that maximum amount based off of what you would be eligible for.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So Titi, maybe you can help answer this question as well. Do you have more than one payment plan option available?
As we discussed a little bit earlier in the webinar, we do have various options for payments. You can definitely use financial aid for eligible students who qualify. You can supplement that with a graduate plus loan. And then we also have the military funding, and you can have the cash payment option too. So there are more than one way to fund your education.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that insight. So, definitely multiple things. Again, it has to be at the discretion of the student, of course. We want to make sure that from a financial standpoint that it is something that you're comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, you're going through this program, right? It's definitely a time commitment. It's a financial investment. But if you're uncomfortable with that aspect of it, it can definitely cause detriment to your learning. So, we try to make sure that all of these things are covered, as early as possible in the process. That way you have a clear expectation of what to, look forward to as you're going through the program.
And we will definitely, your enrollment advisor will definitely review this with you and make sure all of your questions are answered prior to us submitting your final application. We want to make sure that you're very comfortable with the financial aid process or your payment options, so you can definitely focus on your education. And we will make sure your questions are answered before we follow on with the submitting your final application.
Absolutely. It's super important, again, to make sure that everyone is on the same page, especially when it comes to the financial commitment for education. So I definitely agree with you there, TT. So we've got another question here. Let's see. It's is there a separate application for the scholarship? And then how would I find out what I'm qualified for? So as we mentioned, there's not a separate application. We actually do all of these revisions internally. As TT had mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that there for the merit, for instance, we do take into consideration things like your academic history as well as your professional work experience. And every program has somewhat different components of what students can be eligible for based off of what the scholarships are offered. So again, this is not something that you're going to have to worry about as an applicant. And as soon as we are able to determine the eligibility that you have for the scholarship, which is roughly around that time that, we can confirm that you've been admitted into the program, you'll know exactly where you stand. Again, it's all reviewed internally, but we're very, very transparent with this information. Again, that way you know what you're getting into.
Essentially.
Exactly. So do you have anything to add to that, TT?
No, not at all. We will let you know what you would qualify for, or we'll give you an estimate of what you would qualify for in regards to your scholarship. Make sure you're comfortable with that. And when you are admitted into the program, you'll receive a letter stating what your tuition scholarship is.
Excellent, definitely. So looks like we have another question here, which is, what information do I need to apply for financial aid? So that's a great question. What I would say the best resource and the best reference is to just really go into the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA application, as some of you may know it as. It's very, very self-explanatory. Basically, all that they're going to request from you typically is things like your social security number, date of birth, and then you'll be required to create like a PIN, if you will, through financial aid website. But again, it's all information that you should already know or is readily available to you. So it's very, very self-explanatory online. They're not going to request all sorts of crazy, deep, birth certificates and things of that nature. So it's very, very, I would say, Simple, I would say simple. It's pretty simple. I mean, you can complete the application, within 15 to 20 minutes, and then you should know your eligibility, right after you submit that application.
Definitely, the FAFSA application is user-friendly, straightforward, and you should be able to go to the website, carefully read everything, carefully read it in regards to repayment options.
Exactly.
Make sure it's clear to you. If it is not, please let us know. We'll be happy to answer your questions, clarify it for you before you begin your program.
Definitely. So again, I mean, just personal information that you're already going to have readily available and should already know. So it's not too complicated. But if it is something where you're unsure of, certain things, we do have a financial aid department here as well. Our academic advisors, our enrollment advising team with the U Online programs here. I mean, we're all very, very coherent with these things. So, and we're, again, very, very transparent as well. So, we make sure that your questions are answered to the best of our abilities each and every time. So I think that just about wraps it up here. I don't see any other questions coming in, so that's going to bring us about to the end of our session here for making your degree affordable. I hope the information was insightful, and I hope that you also have at least a clearer idea of what to expect from a payment perspective here with our U Online programs. As a recap, financial aid's available, scholarships are available, payment plans are available. A variety of different options, and you can really take advantage of which one is going to suit your lifestyle the best.
And if you have any additional questions, if you want to talk to us in regards to your specific qualifications, eligibility, please give us a call and speak to an advisor. We'd be happy to help you.
Definitely. So thanks again, TT. I definitely appreciate you joining us for this session here. You're very welcome. And, thank you for all of our listeners as well and for the questions that were posed. It's greatly apprecited. It, helps us talk a little bit more about what you guys want to learn. So, definitely appreciate the constant involvement and participation in these webinars here. So to find out more, as you can see, the links are provided there, phone numbers provided as well. Please feel free to give us a call. I definitely have enrollment advisors ready and available to, help answer your questions that you may have. Website as well is a great resource, and definitely for those that are looking into financial aid, just do a quick Google search for FAFSA, F-A-F-S-A. And you'll see the government websites that come up there with a whole slew of information to help you, be comfortable if that's the route that you decide to go. So thanks again for participating, and hope that you all that are in this session here have a great rest of your day.